Okay, we're going to get started here. I want to thank everybody for attending today. My name is Joey Fry, Sales Support Specialist here at URL. So I want to start off today with a fun fact of the day. Today is International Beer Day. So I had two quotes here from two famous Americans. We have Thomas Jefferson and Homer Simpson. Thomas Jefferson once said, "Beer, if drank with moderation, softens the temper, cheers the spirit, and promotes health." And then Homer Simpson, "Beer is the cause of solution to all of life's problems." All right, and then we have some takeaways. We have some handouts that you can download and put onto your computer. So at any time, if you want to take those off, we have How to Write Life with URL, which will give the contacts of the information to some people so you know who to reach out to. We have some summer bonus. We have a social media calendar because next month is Life Insurance Awareness Month. So there's a calendar that you can start putting posts on your social media pages starting mid-August and all the way through September. We have North American's product portfolio. We also have their Right Away program. And then Steve Zimmerman's going to go over some case studies, so he'll have those examples as well. So without further ado, we have Steve Zimmerman here from North American. He is their sales vice president, and he will take it over from here. Thank you, Steve.
Hey, great, Joey. Good morning, and thank you so much. Yeah, I'm just going to... All right, is that looking good? Is that matched up on the screen? Do I have control now, Joey?
Yep. Yes.
All right, good. Good. Hey, well, good morning, everybody. This is Steve Zimmerman, and Joey, thank you so much for the warm welcome and the introduction. Joining me on the call is Kim Grund. Kim is our inside sales development specialist. So Kim and I are your North American team as part of the URL crew. We are thrilled to be here with you today. What we want to do is spend a little bit of your Friday morning. And I mean, how awesome is it, Joey, that National Beer Day fell on a Friday? I mean, it would kind of stink if it fell on a Monday, so I'd have to wait 5 days. But we're psyched to be here. We're going to do a few things. We're going to talk a little bit about, 2018. Why is this year viewed by many as the perfect storm for your life and your IUL sales? I'll give you a little bit of what backs that up. We're going to talk about living benefits, and I truly believe living benefits are the jet fuel that's propelling people's sales right now this year. So we're going to talk about consumers' biggest concerns and how we can help them. We have a PowerPoint here that I'm going to give you a few of the pages, but we really don't have time, and it's really wouldn't be all that interesting to go through a big long presentation. Any of you want to see the details, we can send you this material. But we're going to give you a little bit of the info on the living benefits, how it all sets up, how insurance works and fits in. And then the last thing we want to do is I'm going to share some case studies. If you see one of the PDFs that's available on the handout section on your toolbar says North American case studies. There's not time to go through them, but what I would recommend is download them. If you find today's content interesting, download them and let's have a one-on-one conversation after. We'll make it easy for you. And then we'll wrap up with a couple comments on some simplified tools to make your life even easier doing this business. So how's that sound? Perfect. All right, so let's start with 2018. Why is everybody talking about IUL? Well, think about it. Think about the economic climate. Think about leading economic indicators right now. We are still sitting on high markets, but the view is there's a lot of probability the markets will go higher. Interest rates are starting to trend up, so there is a probability or an increased probability of a recession. But what we're really looking at is we still have the potential for the markets to rise. We have probable higher volatility in the market and some probability of a recession at some point in the near future. So you need to be in a position where you can still participate, not a good move for most people to get out of the market. And then you'd like to be in a place right now where you have downside protection so you can sleep at night. And also, none of us really want to go through rebuilding after another 2008 style correction. So IUL gives you a place where you can participate in the days the market goes up and never lose a dime of your principal on the days the market goes down. That's the big picture. So now let's take a look at consumers. When I sit with clients in point of sale meetings, I always like to ask, hey, is there anything on your mind? Is there anything that keeps you up at night? And I always get the same answers. And it's usually in the same sequence. What I usually get is, I'm worried about my retirement income. Longevity runs in my family. I'm worried about outliving my money. The next thing I get is, hey, you know what? 08 is still a pretty vivid memory to me, 2008. So I'm worried about a market correction. Then I usually get, I'm concerned about long-term care. I just went through it with my parents, my grandparents. And then I always get, hey, you know what? I like my kids, but man, I really, really like my grandkids. I'd like to do something for them in terms of a legacy. And it's usually, isn't it in that order? I'd like to do something for my family, but you know what? I got to take care of myself first. So with life insurance right now, every one of those things that we just outlined are problems that we can fix with a properly structured IUL contract. So let me walk you through a little bit now of where we stand as an industry with IUL, the things we can do with an IUL policy, and then I'll walk you to the case studies. And then the last thing I'm going to do is, before I turn it back to Joey, I'm going to give you 5 questions to ask your clients and prospects to keep the conversation going or to start new conversations that will expose these issues for you to have the right solutions for your clients. So let's take a look at unlocking your IUL sales potential. I'm going to go through a bit of this kind of quickly on the front end. I think it's extremely interesting, but we're going to look at the average purchaser, we're going to look at demographics, and we're going to get into some of the living benefits. Here's the average purchaser. You know, not a real surprise because over the years, IUL has really kind of been the workhorse product for younger people for accumulation planning. But what we're seeing now is, with the introduction several years ago of guaranteed IUL, GIUL is used in just about all the cases where you would have used a typical GUL over the years. So these averages are really starting to broaden to more diverse demographics. Okay, where we're seeing sales, it's 80% for cash accumulation, but that's changing. We're seeing about 80% of the index selections, the annual point-to-point. I think that's just because people are comfortable with that. You don't want to get too much complexity on the plate with the client, or they're not going to want to move forward. But there are other index options that are very, very helpful. We can help you with that at a different time if you want to go into that. S&P, as I mentioned, is the one that we use typically, but there's other really good indexes. Here's the staggering thing to me. Back in 1998, there was $60 million of IUL sold. Last year in 2017, there was just shy of $2 billion in sales. IUL is becoming the workhorse product in the industry. So the typical purchaser, this isn't going to surprise you. You know, the ages are starting to go up. They like the flexibility. They value access for an emergency fund. Who wouldn't? But that bottom bullet point, it's all about living benefits. It's life insurance, not death insurance. So more than ever before, clients are seeing the benefit of that liquidity while they're living, the downside protection in volatile markets, the leveraged access to death benefit while you're alive in terms of a chronic or LTC type payment. And then after that, with the death benefit for the kids, that's a big plus. More than ever before, though, we can own these policies ourselves. With the estate tax exemption as high as it is, we don't have to get the policies out of our estate. And then having these robust living benefits lets me truly have my cake and eat it too, in terms of it's a great place for me to keep my money today while I'm in retirement, but also if I don't need it, it's a really great place to have that money sit there, sheltered from taxes and all the other benefits for my kids. So average purchaser, look at these demographics, think about this. You think about baby boomers and millennials, kind of different, right? But if you think about it also, they have very similar common needs. All those consumer needs I just mentioned a minute or so ago, very, very similar for all those generations. How about this question? Are millennials and Gen Xers more conservative or aggressive with their money than their parents? When I'm in public forums, I always see the show of hands. Well, what do you think it is? It's actually they're more conservative. How come? If you look at the 10 years starting in 2000, I like to call it the lost decade. It's when risk aversion was born. If you look at from 2000 to 2002, or it looks like 2003 here, the market was cut in half by almost 50%. The market came back 99% to 2007, so you were whole, and then the market went down 57% to 2009, and then it came back up in 2010. If you invested, if you had $100,000 in the market on 1/1/2000, you would have had $78,000 at the end of 2010. Now, if anybody wants the specifics, we can help you after. But if you had your money in a indexed universal life policy in that same period of time where you were supported by floors, so in those downward periods you didn't lose money, but you captured the up movements in the times the market was going up, you would have had $180,000 at the end of that 10-year period. 180 versus 78. Pretty stunning difference. Okay, here are the things that we're talking about. We're going back to here's the client concerns, losing money, market volatility, coverage gap. I'm going to give you a quick comment on that, but then retirement gap, do people have enough money, chronic LTC, that type of thing, but also lack of awareness. As you're talking to clients, I'm sure you're going to see these clients, they don't always know the things we know. That's why it's never been more important than now to ask these questions. Okay, life insurance gap. This was stunning to me. If you look at that top line, it shows the percentage of people that have life insurance today. This is based on LIMRA data 2016. Now, the thing that was really surprising was you see that pink line. That's the percentage of people that have group insurance. The green line is people that have individual policies. And it's amazing that in the last several years, there's a higher percentage of people that have life insurance through their group plan as opposed to individual life insurance. Looking at coverage gap, the average coverage gap right now is $200,000. If most people or more people have it through their group plan, and that's about a 2 to 3 times salary average, you can see we've got a gap there. How about if we look at time to impact after the loss of a primary earner? You see the numbers there and the period of time. The thing that was really, again, very impactful to me is that box. 65% of the people in this study said after 1 year there'd be a significant financial impact. But look at this on the right-hand side. 19%, they don't even know. So the questions you want to ask are, do you have life insurance? When was the last time somebody reviewed it? A robust policy review program is critical. When you're asking those clients about life insurance, hey, I see you've got $200,000 of death benefit. How'd you come up with that number? Has anybody ever taken the time to calculate the right amount for you? We can help you with some simple tools for needs analysis too. Okay, retirement gap. Does this surprise you? Average 401k balance, $73,000. Average 401k balance in the 40s, 45 to 55 is $116,000. Not enough, not even close. So that goes back to that question of, how do you feel about your retirement preparation and your preparedness for a long retirement? That's why we see more and more people these days embracing IUL with all those features as a way to supplement their savings. Okay, long-term care. Many of you have probably seen these statistics before. Private room costs, very high expenses, home aid, very high expenses. The thing to me is there's still a very small percentage of consumers that have long-term care coverage. So as a separate point, if this is an area that you're interested in, talk to Joey, talk to Kim, talk to me after. We can walk you through your long-term care planning options, traditional policies, linked benefit contracts like MoneyGuard, and then life insurance policies with riders are really becoming the dominant tool of choice or the product of choice solving these challenges. Okay, lack of awareness, pretty straightforward. A lot of people think that having access to funds would be helpful, and a lot of people don't know life insurance is a really good place to access those funds. So if we kind of boil it down to the bottom line of life insurance, we're seeing that a real good life policy today, focusing on living benefits as well as death benefits, is, you see, obviously the death benefit. The growth comes in with the index participation where you have money being credited by index changes, and you also have the downside protection, so you can sleep well at night and you can still have your money grow. Supplemental retirement income, Life insurance is one of the only places where you can have your money grow tax deferred. The money comes out tax free and it passes to your kids tax free. And then access to a portion of the death benefit while living. We have chronic, critical, and terminal, but the chronic or long-term care is probably the biggest benefit that we see people excited in. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to stop on the PowerPoint and I'm going to mention those case studies. The three profiles we're seeing the majority of activity on is, number one, it's the retirement planning clients, and that's the title on the cover sheet. There's 3 case studies in that PDF. There's a cover sheet which summarizes the profile, and then there's some illustration pages that should be helpful for you. So retirement is that 35 to 55 client looking to save some additional money for retirement. We have a case in there called Smart Money. Smart Money is a sale where if you've got clients that are sitting on lump sum of assets or maybe CDs in the bank, places where they pulled some money out of the bank, they've got it in a CD, I just don't want to lose it after the market corrections. We've got a really good place where you can reposition those assets, no surrender charge, immediate liquidity. So it could be an alternate to an annuity sale, higher caps than an annuity, immediate liquidity, no surrender charges, and all the things we've been talking about. And then the last case study is legacy planning. Legacy planning is going to be using that guaranteed IUL to do all the things we've done over the years with a plain old GUL or no lapse guarantee UL. And it's amazing how we can do all that plus get you cash value, and it can be as little a difference as 1 to 2% additional premium per year. So if you're not looking at a GIUL for your death benefit sales, look at that too. So one quick comment then before I start to wrap it up and hand it back to Joey. The other thing that I would stress is the industry and North American have done phenomenal things to make your life easier to submit cases. We have digital electronic tools. We have an e-app, which is an IGO e-app. We call it Simple Submit. You can do the input of the illustration without paper. It's paperless. You can do it on a laptop. You can do it on a tablet. So we're going to let you get that in faster. It's going to be in good order, and it gets into the company faster. In addition, we have an accelerated no fluid underwriting platform that works off of that Simple Submit, where up to age 50, up to $1 million in death benefit and down to standard class, we use big data or LexisNexis. And if your score based on available data is high enough, in about 40 to 50% of the time, we're skipping the examined fluids. In those situations, your policy is getting issued in days, not weeks. If you don't bypass the examined fluids in the 50% of the time, you just go through traditional underwriting. And then the last thing we have as a point to mention is we have what we're referring to. It's drop ticket. We're on the applicant platform where literally if you put in some abbreviated information, we will take it from there. We'll call the client, we'll ask the questions, we'll do the application, we'll schedule the exam, we'll do it for you. So we're not the only company that does that, but we're really good at it. So I would encourage you now if these ideas are interesting to you, if the profiles of the case studies look like anybody that you have in your clientele, or if you just want to get into some of these details more, give us a call, talk to Joey, talk to Kim, talk to me. We will be following up with you as well. Excuse me. And then, so as I mentioned, I want to wrap up with 5 questions that you can take with you into your prospecting conversations and your client meetings. So, number 1, do you own life insurance? Policy review. Many of you probably dabble in it, but you should do it every day with every client. Do you have a policy? When did you get it? When was the last time somebody looked at it? And, you know, another question, do you have the old insurance or the new insurance? And they're going to always say, what do you mean? Can you help me? So we can help you there. If a simple way to do a needs analysis would help you, we can help you simplify that too. So question number 2, do you feel that your retirement savings is appropriate? Do you feel that you have enough money for a long, comfortable, happy retirement? And do you feel like your retirement money or your retirement savings is going to be insulated from market corrections or downside corrections? And then obviously we're into a conversation of using IUL, downside protection or a safety net, tax deferred growth, tax-free income. Third question, how do you feel about long-term care? Have you planned for it? Have you had a long-term care occurrence? And if you do have something for yourself or a close family member, how are you going to pay for it? That many people many advisors are starting to really embrace that, and we can help you there with some other strategies and some tools on how to deal with the long-term care conversation. Okay. Number 4, legacy plan. Tell me about your kids. Tell me about your grandkids. How would you like to, would you like to leave a legacy? Would you like to do anything for your kids? How about your church? How about your university? Many people will have interests, but they want to have their cake and eat it too by doing something for those people, but I'm not sure I'm in a position where I can give up my assets. Today, with the living benefits and the policies, we could do both. Last question, and this one's a little bit simpler, and I just like to throw it out there. Do you have a will? And why are we asking that? I often get about 50% of the people say yes, 50% of the people say no. So I would then say, well, hey, if you say no, not a problem. Because the state you live in, could be Pennsylvania, could be Delaware, could be Connecticut. The state of Pennsylvania has one for you. It's called intestate succession. The only problem is that state process or pecking order may distribute your assets in a way you don't want. So the action item there is work with a good attorney, build a relationship with a good attorney, refer clients to that attorney. We're not going to draft documents or practice law, but it's pretty simple then to say to your client, hey, I've got a couple of people I work with, good attorneys, talk to them, and they may in turn in time send some business back to you. So with that, Joey, I'm going to turn it back to you, and thank you so much for the few minutes on the call. I hope the group got something out of this.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you, Steve. You did a great job. And just to touch base on what Steve was saying, if you ever need any illustration help or just have any questions about any other products, we love working with North American because they're very easy to work with, and Steve and Kim do a great job at getting back to us and helping our agents. So thanks again, Steve and Kim. I do appreciate it. So I have a couple of housekeeping items I want to talk about here before we wrap up. And so we want to thank you for your business, and for that we can reward you for your business. And there's a few things that we can offer with, we have a quick start bonus, we have a couple summer bonuses, and then our Gemini partners have some bonuses that can get some quarterly bonuses, awards, and retreats. So the quick start bonus, we're doing this for new and returning agents. The new agents to URL that have not written a case within the last 24 months, they would be eligible for one as well, and they can get $25 for a case for annualized premium between $600 and $999, $100 for $1,000 through $2,499, and $250 for anything over $2,500. The summer bonuses, you can get $100 for 3 cases, $250 for 5 cases, $500 for 7, and $1,000 for 10. And that qualifying period is between June 1st and August 31st. And then the applications need to be paid by October 1st. The Gemini bonuses that we have for Q3, there's the big case bonus, 5% for the annualized target premium, $6,000 more. There's a life bonus, $100 per application, $1,000 through $1,999, $200, and then $300 bonuses for those cases. We have the final expense bonuses. On the individual agent level, you get an $80 lead subsidy for $1,000 of annualized premium. And on the agency level, $50 lead subsidy for every $1,000 of annualized premium. And then for disability and critical illness, you can get $25 per $500 in premium. And then the trainings that we have coming up on August 6th, Matt Alina, who is our final expense manager, he will have his first Monday final expense webinar. On September 5th, we have the Medicare Connections meeting at the Hershey Lodge and Convention Center. On the 7th of September, we have another one of these webinars, and this one will be talking about the first Friday because it's Life Insurance Awareness Month. And then on September 25th, we will have a 2-hour CE class with MassMutual on securing retirement. So that'll be in our office, so please keep an eye out for these trainings that you can find off of our website. And again, my name is Joey Fry, and you can reach out to me for any sales support, information that you need on the life insurance side, as well as disability and long-term care. And then our case managers are Rosemary Evans for the last names A through L, and then Rachel Patton, M through Z, and they can help you with any application questions, any statuses on any cases that you have in. So they're a big help. And if anybody has any questions, you can ask those now. And if not, feel free to reach out to me with any questions that you have, and I'd be happy to assist you. I would like to thank everybody again for this, and you have a great day.